Spider Legs Part 4. Wow. This one is about making a mechanical hierarchy. Okay? So you're still going to put joints or bones. I don't know if I made it clear in the last one, but they're the same thing. Depends on what program you're looking at or what metaphor you want to use, but it's all the same. Same deal. You're gonna build a bone chain, but instead of binding this like we did in the last episode, which makes the geometry actually deform, we have separate pieces here. Okay, so all this stuff is separate, all these little guys. And because of that, we are going to do this a little bit differently. And we don't want this thing to bend. Okay, we want these to be essentially rigid. Okay, a rigidly bound system. So this is going to be just done with a simple parent-child hierarchy, which sounds more complicated than it is. So the first thing we do is, like we did before, we're going to create joints. Okay, and I'm going to do this right on top of here. So I'm going to click right in the center of this ball, right there. Okay, I'm going to click in the center of this ball, center of this one, and then at the very end here. And then hit enter, like so. And like I told you in the last one, you want to check and make sure these things are lined up. Oh, look, they're not. Okay, so that's a good example of why you want to make sure this stuff is actually sitting where you think it is. Okay, so again, then to change that, you pick the root. The root is on the other side this time from what I did last episode. And I'm just going to drag that down to the center. Hit the 4 key so I can actually see where the center is. Somewhere around there. That looks good. Okay, hit the 5 key again to jump back. And if I look over in my outliner, I'm going to see the same kind of a structure here. Okay, parent, child, 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 child. Each one is the child of the one before it. So joint 20 is our root, like this. And all you need to do is know how to parent something. And you can parent many things to an object at once. All you do is I'm going to pick this. Okay. I'm going to hold down shift and pick this. And these guys I want to parent to the first joint here. Okay. So I'm going to hold down the command key here and just click on joint 20. That would be the control key on a PC. So that is now selected. Okay. So when you parent something, the last thing you select is going to be the parent. Okay. That's really important to remember. So you pick the geometry first. Then when you've got all the stuff picked that you want to include, you pick the joint you want to assign it to, and then you just hit the P key on your keyboard. P is for parent, boom, like so. Okay, now if I pick this guy and move it, that is going to take everything with it. Okay, so then I just move down the line here. I grab this guy, I'm going to hold down shift and pick this guy because I want these all to be part of this next joint, joint 21. Holding down command, control on a PC. Remember, the joint is the last thing I pick because that's going to be the parent. Hit P. Same deal for this guy. Shift, shift, hold down command, pick that joint. P is for parent. This guy and this guy I want to be assigned to this. So I'm going to hold down command, joint 23, hit P, like so, and that should work. So let's try it out. Again, I'm just going to click on this one. This is my top one. By rotating this, everything should move, and it does. Cool. Again, up and down arrows. So down arrow, grab this. This should move. Oops, that's not good. I mean, it's okay, but I've got this thing should be assigned to this, not this. Okay, so how do I fix that? Click on this, figure out where it is. Okay, it's in this hierarchy. Okay, but I want it to be in this top one. Okay, so you can move things around here by using the middle mouse button. So by clicking this, if I want to put it in with this top joint, just need to notice where that is, and middle mouse button, just drag this guy into here like that. Whoops, wrong one, I missed it. How just drag it down to there. Get it right underneath there and put it in between. That's okay. Okay, so let's see what that did. That's good. Now that is moving with that, which is what I want. Kind of a ball and socket thing going like that. Okay, and that means that this thing is going to all move as one. Okay, and I probably did the same thing here. Probably screwed this one up too. This is good. This is actually the best thing you can see when things like this happen, because you can see how to fix them. Okay, so again, this guy, I'm just going to pick the geometry here to see what that is, and I want to move it into the one prior to it. So I'm going to put it in this one, middle mouse button. It's going to drag that guy into here. Oops, I missed it. I'm going to do this guy. I'll put it right in between those two. And let's see if that works. Yeah. Okay, so now this is separate. And now this one will include that, like so. Okay. And that's really what I wanted. Something like that. Okay. And then the last one here is this guy. Okay. And that should be fine as is. And there we go. So I've got this little, mechanical hierarchy now going on. A little lunar lander or something like that, whatever you want to call it. And again, same thing pertains as before. To move the geometry, you click the top joint. Okay? That's going to be your kind of your defining place for dealing with this stuff. Okay? Had it in kind of funky orientation here. So if I rotate this whole guy around, be a little easier to deal with. Yeah, like that. Okay? So again, it sounds a little complicated, but once you do it a few dozen times, it's really fast and really easy to get stuff like that to work. Okay? Because you don't have to deal with the capsule or binding things. All you're really doing is assigning it to a bone. And because of that, it's not going to be deformed by that bone, because it's not part of a skinning process. It's really just being parented to something. Okay? And likewise, you can kind of do that at any time. So let's say you have and we'll just stick a little cone in here or something. Just wing it like this. So if I just, so let's say I want to put that on top of this piece of geometry here, like this. Okay, I've decided I want to add this to this piece of geometry, like that. A little crooked there. That's my bad. Here, we'll just try and line it up. Not the end of the world. This is an example. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so all I need to do is I can take this guy and just drop it into whatever joint I want that associated with. In this case, probably my first one here. So if I just middle mouse drag this guy into this hierarchy right here, that should now move when I click on my top joint here, and you'll see it does. It goes along with that. Okay, so this is kind of a real kind of a standard function of animation as well, in that you have constraints, which are basically parent-child relationships that function in ways that you can adhere or release them at will by animating them. So it's kind of the way you might have a character throw a ball or pick something up and put it back down again. You turn it on and off. But the fixed parent-child relationship here is really useful too, in that you can add things to it and they will become part of that chain without you doing any more than putting it in that group or in that relationship. That hierarchy, that's the word. Okay? There you go. Give this a try for those of you who want to do a mechanical spider rather than a organic one. And of course you can do kind of a combo thing too. All sorts of possibilities here once you know how to pose things and do stuff like this. Okay, coming back with copying these guys.